What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. Now, I know what some of y'all might be thinking. Why does the dude's face look like that? Well, I just got through watching The Flash, and for most of that running time, this is probably what my face looked like, right? So you remember when your mom told you, fix the expression on your face or it might get stuck that way? Now, I'm about maybe 8 hours out of watching this movie, okay? And I haven't been able to get my face right since then. So I'm gonna try for the sake of this video because I know that it could be very off-putting. I look like somebody who might have taken an experimental jab or something like that. But let's give it a try, okay? No. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I think I got it. I think I'm okay. All right. So, let's talk about The Flash, shall we? All right. And before we get into this, let me just say this. There's a couple of things y'all need to know up front. One of them is that the Angel of Mercy actually visited me during the runtime of this movie and revealed a couple of things to me. All right. One of them was that I do not like, and this is something that I got into when I watched She-Hulk. I had a revelation similar to this when I was watching She-Hulk, and that is, you probably want to be aware of the movies that you watch because your time is precious and it's limited. And I realize I don't want to die watching a shitty movie. And it is possible because we could drop dead at any moment. You know what I mean? So I had this divine revelation that, man, I am wasting my time. And then I got another divine intervention, and the Angel of Mercy granted me with sleep at some point during this movie. All right, so I did sleep and I was spared some of this, so I did get some good sleep. It's kind of like when I was watching Andor. Great show because I got some great sleep. So anyway, let me tell you what I made of this, okay, with what I was able to actually see. And I did see most of it, but okay, here it goes. This is heavily a movie that weighs, I guess it's about time travel. And I'm not like a big fan of time travel as a plot device, generally speaking. There's not many movies that did this thing right. I say Back to the Future and a few others that are classics, all right? But when I saw time travel being used in Endgame, for example, I knew that this movie dropped several notches in my book because it's a cheat. I don't like it. In the end, it's two things. It's time travel and multiverses. I don't like time travel, and I sure as hell don't like multiverses. So the chances of me enjoying The Flash, it really rested upon maybe Michael Keaton, some elements of nostalgia, because I knew the shit was going to go downhill fast. And go downhill fast it did. The movie actually opens up with The Flash and Batfleck trying to save the city from some terrorists, right? And people are talking about how this movie is not woke, but see, something happens within the first 10 minutes of the movie that just like, it's very telling, okay, about the sensibilities of the filmmaker and where this movie could have went, but didn't go because they did not have Gal Gadot for the whole movie. I'll get into that in a minute, all right? But so you got Ben Affleck's Batman, and you got The Flash because Superman is off fighting a volcano. Aquaman is whoever, I don't know, he's getting ready for his sequel. Cyborg, well, we don't talk about Bruno. And so here we are, all right? So you got Ben Affleck racing through the city trying to stop some terrorists or something like that from blowing up the city. And in the meantime, you got Flash doing something that I found to be very, very disturbing right off the bat. He's trying to save some babies because there's a building that's collapsing, right? The building kind of tips over. For some reason, all the way up on the top floor, you have some newborns in a newborn wing of a hospital, I guess it is. So these newborns get thrown out of a window. This is your opening act. You're throwing babies, infants, newborns out of a window. And this scene, this whole sequence had to have been a child abuser's wet dream because you got babies plummeting to their death. And in the middle of them plummeting to their death, you have various little visions of different ways to kill babies. You have one of them being showered possibly with some sharp out objects, right? Then you have another one who Flash actually puts into a microwave, Okay, he puts the baby in a microwave. Now, a few years ago, I did a story about a woman who actually did kill her child by putting it in a microwave. There is nothing funny about putting a newborn infant in a microwave, but that's what they do, and they play this out for laughs because, of course, he's supposed to be saving these babies. And in the process of doing that, they're employing some of the worst CGI, not just for 2023. If you had shown me this CGI back in 1995, this shit would have been terrible. But this is what we get. He's running in slow motion, jumping over slow moving objects to catch each one of these babies. And it's just totally unbelievable, okay? So you're losing me right there. In the middle of that, you got Ben Affleck doing some real, like, heroic acrobatic stuff. This is something that I actually did want to see. I want to see a solo Ben Affleck as Batman movie. I guess we're not going to get that, but never say never. But anyway, you get like a small glimpse of how dope that might be, right? But even still, he had one job to do, which is to save the city from getting blown up, and he was in the process of failing to do it. Now, this is what I was alluding to earlier. He was about to fail. The city was about to go up, like boom. But then, out of nowhere, here comes Wonder Woman to save the day because Batman was about to fail. So she grabs Batman. Batman is like, oh, thank God Wonder Woman has saved me. Right? So in the process of helping him, right, she accidentally puts her lasso of truth around Batman and the Flash, and they proceed to degrade themselves. You might as well have had them shit themselves. Batman goes on to talk about, I'm too proud to say thank you, and I got issues and all of this stuff. And the Flash volunteers that he's never had sex before. So right off the bat, within the first 10 minutes of the movie, you degrade your male characters, or your male and non-binary character, whatever the case may be. I don't know if Ezra Miller is playing a non-binary gay person in this movie, but his non-binary gay energy sure is powerful in this movie, and it detracts from the movie because really it lends no credibility to whatever chemistry he might have supposed to have had with Iris when she does enter the movie. We're supposed to believe that these two people have a crush on one another. I'm not buying it for a minute because Ezra looks like he'd rather be in the loving embrace of, I don't know, Henry Cavill or something like that, right? But anyway, when Iris does come in there, I suppose she's there to remind Ezra Miller that his father is in jail for killing his mother, and he's desperate to clear his father's name, but we see some footage where you can't quite make out his father's face in it. That would have been his alibi. Honestly, I think his father probably did do it, but that's just me. So anyway, his mother, right? We see that the Flash, Barry Allen, loves his mother. You know, they have this thing between them. I love you more, I love you first. I mean, that's their answer to Marvel's I Love You 3000, I believe. It's very sweet. And his mom looks like she might have been abused. You know, that's the reason why I'm saying I think his father did that shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, he's distraught about where he's at right now. He can't save his father. He couldn't save his mother. And so the Flash does what the Flash does. He runs, right? And he runs fast. He's like Forrest Gump running fast, right? So in the middle of him running fast, he realizes that, I can actually bend time and space. You know what I mean? It's possible for me to go back in time. And if it's possible for me to go back in time, I might be able to save mom. I can clear my father's name. I'm going to do this shit, right? Ben Affleck, his Batman, or Bruce Wayne, tells him, don't do this, Barry. And of course, Barry does it. So he goes back in time and he sees his parents, right? He's like, oh, it's mom. And she's alive, and it's dad, and he's not in jail getting rear-ended by Roscoe. Oh, I like this. I want to be here. So he sits down and he's having dinner or lunch or breakfast, whatever the hell. His parents seem to be oblivious to the fact that their son all of a sudden looks older. He's got different hair. He's acting different because in this past, Ezra Miller, I think his younger self, I don't know if he's on the spectrum. Like, he's definitely special. Like, he comes in like, he's got this laugh like, right? So he's just stupid, right? But Ezra sees his younger self. He's able to hook up with his younger self. And he tells his younger self, you know what? This is not just me in the past. This is a different universe. And in this universe, on this date, you get your powers. Not only that, but shortly after you get your powers is when the events of Man of Steel jump off. So it turns out that Barry Allen, after, like, fresh after getting his powers, was there to witness the battle between Henry Cavill's Superman and Zod. So he wants to try to make all this shit right? So he tells Ezra or Barry Allen of this universe that we're going to go and we're going to try to stop these events from happening, okay? We're going to try to find Superman. Superman has been imprisoned or something, they believe. So they have to get Batman to help them. So they're looking for Batman. He's expecting to see Batfleck. But of course, he ends up seeing Michael Keaton's Batman, okay? Because this is what this movie is doing. This movie is very heavy on the, I guess you would call it fan service. But this is like fan vomit, actually, because nobody is asking for it. It's just jammed in there. It barely works. You know, the hype behind seeing Michael Keaton really doesn't pay off. It's like, because he's not really playing Batman. Like, this is not Bruce Wayne. If you read the comics, you're not feeling this is Bruce Wayne. You're not feeling this is Batman. Maybe a little bit when he puts on the costume later on, but when they first meet him, he's all fucked up. He's got like long hair and everything. He's basically Jake Wayne, right? They go to him. He doesn't want to help them. They break into the Batcave because Barry Allen can like vibrate through walls and stuff like that. So he goes into the Batcave. They're trying to figure stuff out. And then Bruce is like, you know, for some reason, he's like, okay, well, you know, I'll help you, all right? So Michael Keaton is there basically to say those lines that you saw in the preview, you know, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. You know, yeah, I'm Batman. You know, that's basically all it's there for. It's a very uninspired performance. He's getting an easy check, and I'm happy for him, I guess. But anyway, so they go to break out Superman, only to find out that it's Super Butch, right? It's supposed to be Supergirl, I suppose, all right? I got to say this, though. Whoever's playing Super Butch, she got some really nice DSLs. I mean, she got a really nice mouth. That's what I'm saying, okay? She's got pretty lips is what I mean. All right, so anyway, they break her out because she's surrounded by kryptonite or whatever, so she's all fucked up. She can't do anything. Barry takes her away from there. She gets into the sun. And now she's all powerful, right? So she wants to go stop Zod, right? And get some answers as to whatever happened to her cousin. So Barry, and Michael Keaton's Batman are flying around doing some really irrelevant stuff. Meanwhile, Super Butch is facing off with Zod, who really isn't there. Like, I just don't feel anything about this. It's like, okay, you got Michael Shannon's face on top of some CGI body. The CGI, like I said, is god awful, guys. It is terrible. There's no excuse for this. I heard the director, what is his name? Andy Machete, right? It's like Machete. You should have got Danny Trejo to direct this. It would have been a lot better. But he said that it was intentional, that the CGI looked like crap, right? So I'm just like, well, you know, well done, because it looked like crap and it was distracting looking like crap. So anyway, it doesn't take long before Barry Allen Prime realizes that no matter what they do in this situation, it's always going to turn out to be the same way. Super Butch gets killed. Michael Keaton's Batman gets killed, and nothing is going to change. His mother gets killed. None of it's going to change. Now, the Barry Allen, the younger Barry Allen, the retard, he's like, I can do this. You know what? You made me a hero, and now we're going to do this. Right? So he says that he's going to continue to go back in time to fix this. No matter what he does, every time he goes back in time, it ends up the same way. Super Butch dies. Michael Keaton's Batman dies. The Flash's mother dies. It's always going to be the same. So in the movie itself, it's always going to be the same. This is absolute. It's a mess. It's a giant mess. As a matter of fact, at one point in the movie, Michael Keaton's Batman says it's a giant mess. It's just messy as F, right? But they continue to do this. In the meantime, they're taking us, the audience, around and around and around. And it's just like, bro, what's the point of this at all? Why is this movie even being made? What is happening here that is a direction for the DCU? None of it makes any sense, right? So really, it just boils down to Barry having to convince Barry Prime to leave things well enough alone. I guess that would be the like moral of the story. Like, you can't change the past. Some problems don't have solutions, I believe they say, which is the reason why I'm glad I never took my son to see this movie, because I always teach him that every problem has a solution. You know what I mean? And not to wig out. Of course, there are some things you can't control in life, but if you're faced with a problem, yeah, you should probably try to find that solution. That solution, of course, doesn't involve time travel in the real world. So I think I'm pretty safe with that message to my son. But anyway, so younger Flash has gone crazy, and this results in Ezra Miller playing three roles. He's playing the Flash, or Barry Allen Prime. He's playing younger Flash, and then he's playing crazy Flash. It's been going around, trying to fix this shit, for who knows how long, and let me see. Anyway, he ends up stopping the madness, right? It's like it can't be done. They wrap it all up. He goes back to his time, right? Or so he believes that it's his time. Everything's looking good and everything. And then you have your final cameo, which is he goes to talk to Batman, and it's not the Batman that he left. It's not Batfleck. It's George Clooney. I mean, fuck it. Okay, spoilers, all right? I'm going to have it in the thumbnail. There's spoilers here. But in the meantime, they had some cameos, if you want to call them that, when they're running through the time space vortex or whatever. You see some images of Adam West, Christopher Reeve, the girl who played Supergirl in the movies, Helen Slater, I believe it was, George Reeve, I think there was another Flash that was in there. There's a few things that were going on in there. It's terrible, guys. It's just terrible, and it's very, very disrespectful. I believe there's some footage video footage of Christopher Reeve talking about how he doesn't appreciate Hollywood just recycling things just for the sake of recycling it. Well, that's what this movie actually is. All right, it exists for no other reason. It's barely telling a story, guys. It exists for no other reason than to recycle what has come before and just throw it out there like, here, you like this, right? You like that, right? Well, here's a little bit of this. You like that, right? It's Hollywood at its most cynical. All right. The movie itself technically is garbage. All right. The pacing of it is all over the place. The narrative thread that runs between all of the scenes are uneven. The acting is terrible. Ezra Miller is, and continues to be miscast as the Flash. And like I said, this is everything that's wrong with Hollywood. We're supposed to ignore the man's legal troubles. That's not supposed to be a distraction from this at all. And we're just supposed to consume. We're not supposed to have any expectations at all. And this is, unfortunately, is a constant that we see with these movies these days. You hear people telling you to lower your expectations. It's like, since when? Usually you're supposed to be hype when you go into a movie that you want to see. Ooh, I can't wait to see this. I know it's going to be great. But now we're told to say, I guess, it's going to be what it is. I'll just take what they give me, and my hard-earned money, the movie tickets that are going up and up and up, we're just going to pay that out. Just give me, I'll tell you, just give me what you want to give me, and I'll be happy with that. That's supposed to be what it is now, and I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it again. Oh, God. Okay, listen. That's what this movie was, okay? So my rating, you guys know I have a rating system where it is flushes, all right? If you get 0 flushes, it means there was no shit involved, and it's very good, all right? I got allergies, by the way, guys. You got to excuse me. If you get anywhere between 0 and 4 flushes, that tells you how bad it is. 0 flushes means that it's great. All right, so if you get 4 flushes, it's absolutely terrible. I'm going to give this one 4 flushes and a plunger. As a matter of fact, just blow up the toilet, okay? Just completely, just get rid of the toilet. There's no salvaging this, guys. I don't like this movie. I don't like everything it stands for. If you like it, it's fine. You can get in the comment section and tell me what you liked about this movie. As for me, I'm just sorry I saw it. It gave me a very existential reality or existential episode where I'm realizing that there are certain things I don't want to die in the process of doing. In the process of some great sex, I will die doing that. In the process of watching a fucked up movie, it's terrible. I have to watch how I spend my time, and I felt this way when I was watching She-Hulk too. I just was like, dude, this can't be how you spend your precious time watching terrible movies. You know what I mean? But that's what I was feeling, when I actually came around, when I actually woke up for a little bit. I'm like, I can't do this, guys. But anyway, that's how I feel about it, guys. I'm going to give this movie, like I said, 4 flushes and a plunger. We're going to blow up the toilet, and that's it. You guys can get in the comment section and let me know how you felt about The Flash. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.